I always talk about the importance of drafting wills, but I always think it impacts people even more when there are practical examples that I can relay that people can actually understand and take to heart. So recently I was consulted by this gentleman. His stepmother had passed away. There's a property involved. They wanted to know if they can sell this property. So the background to this is that the parents of this gentleman, there was a mother and a father. They were married many years ago, I think in the 90s or 80s, I'm not sure. They were married a while ago, and then they had 2 children. This gentleman who came to consult with me and his sister. Their mother then passed away while they were still young, and the father then remarried. The father remarried, and the father and the stepmother had a baby, had a child. So there were 2 children from the previous marriage, and then the stepchild from this marriage. So a few years after that, the father passed away. And then, so the children, all 3 children were living with the stepmother. And then now this year, the stepmother passed away. Excuse me. The stepmother passed away this year. So this gentleman wants to know if they can actually sell this property. But what actually happens in interstate succession when you don't leave a will is that when the mother and the father, the initial parents of the 2 first kids, when they were married, they owned the property together in equal shares. They were married in community of property. And then the mother died. The father inherited the property in its entirety. So the property was then owned by the father. The father remarried. The property then became shared between the stepmother and the father. Then the father passed away. Then the property became wholly owned by the stepmother. Now that the stepmother has passed away, this property is going to be inherited by law by the stepchild. The first 2 children do not have any claim to this property. So it's like it has such detrimental consequences, because the way you could protect your children from your first marriage is that you could draft a will, even with the new wife, and just saying that the property on our passing can be divided among the 3 of them, or do whatever distribution agreement that ensures that everyone is protected. Now everyone is out of the loop. The children have been living there all their lives. They're thinking this is, they own some part of this property as well because it was their father's property. Well, where in essence they don't, So I just thought those are the things we need to think about, and I do understand that people move on. If the father was single with 2 small children, he had to remarry. Okay, he didn't have to, but he had to move on, and he's within his right to do that. But it's just important that you try and you protect your children, and draft wills, so that your children are not left with detrimental consequences of your actions, basically. Yeah. So draft a will. It's very important. It's not expensive. Do the right thing.